Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the carp fishing universe. Now, I am a multi species person. However, I wanted to talk about rigs and baits for a minute, not too long, just to kind of give more of a synopsis of where I'm coming from when I carp fish. I have from my friend Curtis Gorey the spod rack where I put the rods. I don't have any line clip alarms or any of that stuff because honestly I like running bait feeders, and you put the bait feeder on, you hear the click, you set the hook, essentially. So haven't really set that up, haven't gotten the bite alarms. I know you can get them fairly cheap, have not done it yet. I use a lot of white bread. Do I make pack bait? Yes. Do I use method feeders? Occasionally. I have also done a Carolina rig with a pop-up straight off the end of the leader. I would rather be simple rigged and simple bait. But I want to talk about this bait that I've made, besides the bread. It is a Mazola cornmeal and wheat flour, milk and water base. So it kind of comes off as, have you ever seen that putty that's almost like sand, where you form it but it'll crumble? Okay, that is essentially what this bait's consistency is like. It stays on the hook really well, but carp's lips are really strong. They can pull bait off of things really easy. That's why pack bait works so well. Even though pack bait will start falling off after time, they can still get a good crunch down on a dough ball or that kind of a dough bait, so to speak, because it's not really dough bait, but it's not also a soft dough bait. It's kind of right in between. I mean, they eat boilies. They suck them right in their mouth. So this is a bait that is fairly easy for them to ingest. It is not harmful to their body. The one bait that I have right now, I have the remainder of the quick oats that I had, a cup and a half of the Mazola, and half a cup of the wheat flour, sprinkling or 5 of Italian breadcrumbs, which gives it kind of this grainy and a flavory type thing that they kind of like. And I had quite a bit of Carl syrup in there. I like Carl syrup because they like sweet. But here is the thing that sets this bait off. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This add-on is not cheap, okay? But I use this oil in tea, in cooking, and in bait. In fact, I've put water in my wacky worm bags, like a sprinkle or two, and a drop of this, and set bass on fire. And that is oregano oil. Now, this is from Desert Sage. They're a local apothecary, and their essential oils are phenomenal. This stuff, to put it mildly, if you use too much in tea or food, by the way, be prepared to be constipated. Yeah, it's lethal. It's a great flavor enhancer for food, by the way. You put a drop in this in a soup, man, it brings so much earthiness out. But what oregano oil does, sage, same way, rosemary oil, these oils kind of hit that feeding instinct that carp have. It brings them in. Now, with oregano oil, because I made a big pack of this bait, I put 3 drops in and dispersed it through the entire liquid before I started bringing the dry components in, okay? You have to be fairly sparing on how much oregano oil you use. Oregano oil, above all the other oils, is one that just makes the big beasts come in. Point of fact, I had Dobson today at the Macayos pond, and I hooked into a at least 24-pound koi and an albino carp that was over 10 pounds. Now, they both broke my hooks. They were vicious in their fights. I had one owner heavy gauge wacky rig hooks, and they broke them. So they what they do with an oregano oil infused bait is they nom on it. You know, they do the whole mouthy thing. You know, just grab it and run like grass carp will do with bread. Okay, it's different. It's that slow bite, and then they have the hook in their mouth and they slowly roll off. But once they know they're hooked, it's over. It's a deep, slow bite. It's not that vicious, like quick hit like you would get on a hair rig or a piece of bread. I actually took this with me and put some of it on the bread that was responsible for one of the other carp today. So I caught quite a few carp today. I got my car back and I immediately went fishing. Did pretty good, but I knew I needed to come home and cook. So I also have a little trick that works for catfish and carp, where I take a little bit of dry sage and put it in the dry contents of the dough bait I'm making. I'll put a single drop of the oregano oil, but I'll take, and if I'm cooking up like kielbasa or hot dogs and there's that oil, I'll take that oil and I'll put it in the liquid before I mix them together. So not only am I getting that sage or that oregano oil out there, I'm also getting that like oil from like the hot dogs. See, the thing of it is a lot of people don't realize carp are omnivores. They will eat bugs. They will eat worms. They'll even eat minnows and shad. Oh yeah, I've gone crappie fishing and gotten carp on the hook. It happens. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. If you want to get oregano oil like this, it is an essential oil. I get Desert Sage brand because their oils are sourced as ethically as possible. They're all cold pressed. This is 1 fluid ounce and it was $35. It is not cheap, but you don't use very much at all. I've had this thing for 4 months and I'm only a third of the way into the bottle. It takes a while to go through it. So don't be afraid. You don't really have to care where you get your oregano oil. I just like, when I buy an essential oil, I want it as pure as possible. I use a lot of essential oils and teas in cooking. So, and I hope that helps. Also, on the rod that I use, I got questioned to explain further what this rod is. And hold on a second. Okay, I had to pause for a second because I had to go get this rod. So first off, if I can find the hook. These are the hooks that they broke. Now, you can see clearly that I have a Snell knot on there, standard Snell. These are not a light wire hook. So the fact that they busted it, that was pretty intense. And it didn't happen just once, it happened twice. Okay, then I have the 12-inch Betts slip float. I use these specifically because one, they're cheap. It's just straight balsa with a plastic core and it's got a metal ring at the top. I like it. It's like $4 for 2 of them on eBay. So what this is the SH, let me turn this around. I gotta read this properly. It is the SHX 841-3. It is a 3-piece, 8-foot, extra heavy Magnum rod. The tip section is the only section that really has a bunch of bend. The other 2 sections of this are all business. There's almost no flex to it whatsoever. The second section comes off only about, I think it's 14 total inches, but the pieces slide real far onto each other and it still is a true 8-foot. Now, I only have 5.5 or so foot because I have this obscenely long handle on it. Now, the way that Ron Weber did this at Southwest Custom Rods is he put a little bit of a bump in the middle. which means that no matter where I grip it, I can have some comfort. If I have double palm grip on it, my second palm can be on there. But the reason that I like this, and the reason that my roommate had this made this way, because this was her rod until I inherited it, was so that she could have the fight go into her forearm. Now, I have big ass forearms. I work out. So I want to be able to post on that so that when I'm turned to the side or I'm right in front, I can handle that fight with this rod. This rod with this reel, it's only, what was it when I put it on the scale? I think it was like 2 pounds. And I can hold it all day. This handle is very comfortable. I can just tuck it on my forearm and sit there and let it lean on it. It is not weight forward whatsoever. This blink is so dead ass light. The only thing that's really adding weight is the reel. Now this is going to be replaced. I'm going to have another rod and put this on it. This is a Revros 3000 LT. Very nice light reel, but it's still got some heft to it. I like the grips like this or the bigger ones like some reels have for carp. I don't like just the little tiny handles. I think you have a tendency to slip off in a lot of cases. I am looking at the different Okuma bait runners and Sonic and a couple other bait feeder big pit reels to put on this rod, and then get another longer carp rod for this reel here, or just to get a big pit reel and another rod like a 10-12 foot 3 range maybe, so I can throw 1 to 2 ounce method feeders. I don't like going too heavy on method feeders, but I am going to get back into it. This is a very balanced rig, especially when this third piece is out. I just got it folded because it fits in the car a lot better that way, honestly. It casts a country fucking mile. I've got that 20-pound Berkeley Extreme on it, 14-pound copolymer. I've got a 1,000-foot spool sitting in my car right now, that 14. My arm span's around 6 foot. I do anywhere from 4 to 5 times my arm length is what I pull for my leaders on average for my bass and carp rigs, by the way. And my other rod and reel that I'm using for finesse breading for carp when they're really, really shy is a 9-foot 4-piece 5-weight that was made into a 2-piece by Brent LaGrady. Is local here in Phoenix area as well. Brilliant guy all the way around. Really nice, down-to-earth, blue-collar type of individual. It has a Tennessee handle slip ring style with cork. It's not nearly as long as this, so it's very weight forward, but I have it that way for a reason, because I do targeted techniques with it, primarily ultralight Ned and wacky, and really super ultralight drop shot if I want. Those 1.5 to 3 inch max baits with like a 1/16 or a 1/8 drop shot weight. I mean, super finesse. But I can put a number 2 owner mosquito light on it with a micro swivel upline, a little bit of leader, to 6-pound fluorocarbon leader and 6-pound braid. It whips little tiny flecks of bread out so easily, and they don't feel it hitting the water. So when I get that hit, the rod's got so much bend to it, I just let them bend into it and they hook themselves basically. Still got enough of a drag on that 1,000 size Sienna that it handles the carp just fine. It takes a lot longer to get them in because it's not a beast like this rod, but it is a load of fun. It is a ton of fun on baby carp. If you get into a pool of just those, 1 to 4 pounders, it's phenomenal all day fun. When that rain happened not that long ago, the Dobson Library Pond was so full that it went up to and onto the grass, going up to the barrier where the fire station is, to where I was halfway up the hill, and there were 50 to 80 some odd baby carp just swirling around, and they were going into the culvert and coming back up and just going around, and I was catching them all fucking day on that bread, on that rod. It was phenomenal. So that's how I do it, basically. The lighter one, the reel does all the work with the hook sets with the mosquito lights. It's a matter of playing and dragging the fish out until they're tired enough to be brought in. This is the bully in the schoolyard. It is a beast of a rod and reel. The Daiwa Revros drag is ridiculously smooth. It's so infinitely adjustable. The only thing I don't like about this reel's drag, which is saying something because I love this reel in general, I've had everything from a 500 to 4,000 size in these reels for various applications. Being infinitely adjustable, you can lock it all the way down and it will still give. It's just one of those ones that does not truly completely lock down, so be aware of that, which is not bad for carp, because I like to let carp run. I just like to have enough tension on my drag to kind of rein them in when they start getting tired. But I can really hog time with this rod, man. It is a brilliant rod. There's no flex except for the tip section on this rod at all, man. It is. I have put the whooping on channel cats and big carp with this rod very well. And I won't get into details about how I inherited it, but let's just say that I earned it. And she never fished. Once I moved out, she stopped fishing altogether, so it's in the right hands. It's retarded, but what I end up doing a lot of times, because I do Carolina, is I'll have to fix that. I will put 2 of these on either side, typically with a bead like this. I got a ton of beads. I'm gonna have to replace this. There it is. I'm gonna have to get and fix the bead thing on this. Put a bead on this side at least. But this thing slides real freely. This is a 3/16. I have the egg sinkers, but this, if I'm just doing short distance and fairly shallow, I only ever use these as a indicator. So what ends up happening is the carp takes the bait, it tips up and it just goes into the water. I know they're on. I let them run for a while. I lean in. I'm on. Don't worry about that on my finesse one. If I do a bobber, it's just going to be a real small slip bobber. But most of the time, it's just swivel, leader, mosquito hook, bread. So there you go. Questions answered.